Oh, hey guys, how's it freaking going today? Friggin' 30th. Probably noticed I've been forgetting every once in a while to change the date on the header of the video. And the whole reason why I put that header there to begin with was in case if I decide to go ice fishing before March 16th and the video comes out on April 3rd, the MNR doesn't come after me for poaching. Not to say they would, but there have been situations in the past where, you know, officers of the law have gone out of their way to use YouTube videos to incriminate people, and I don't need that kind. I really don't need that kind. So it was scary enough when the cops showed up that one night. I don't need them showing up because they think I did something illegal when I was well within my rights to do what I did. So by date stamping videos, it kind of gives me that leeway. Anyway guys, it's Thursday today. I'm not used to this, having to leave the house on a Thursday. I kind of miss the old work from home where I just shimmied over and started my job, but oh well. So after talking to the boss last night, or yesterday I should say, I asked her, how long is this gonna go on for? And she's like, it could be to the end of April. And that kind of upset me because I miss my work from home. So I tried to do a video like this the other day where I filmed in the truck, and I didn't realize I had the low pass filter disabled on the camera, and literally I couldn't distinguish any of the audio. Did I forget something? Son of a bitch, did I forget something? 1 second guys, I think I forgot something. I have my corporate phone. They're making me bring my corporate phone home now. I never did before. I haven't brought that thing home except when I work from home. Okay, I'll be right back. I should have left the camera running to see if the microphone worked when I went into the house and all that. I kept my eyes on the light to see if it would start flashing because it lost connection, and it stayed blue the whole time, so that's pretty sweet. Anyway, let's get the hell out of here and go to work. I take a different way now. That's right guys, now we take a different way to work because we're working out of a different office because this office has more available connections for us to use so we can hammer out more computers at once. So hopefully I'll be able to like edit this video properly with the driving because I was unable to do so before. When I tried, it literally just, the audio on the camera was all muffled because of the low pass filter picking up every single noise from like the vents and the HVAC and all that. Here's hoping that the audio sounds better this time around and I can actually work with it. Coach, on Tuesday, Coach was talking about the New York trip at the end of April, trying to convince people to go besides just him and Derek, because normally that's all that goes is just him and Derek. And he was like, Adam, you really should come. You'll have a great time and stuff. You've already met Datu Tim Hartman, and you know it'd be great to train in his area. And you'd have, he goes, you think the camp in Cambridge and Sudbury was great? That camp is amazing. He goes, and there's a chance that if you do really well and they notice you're doing well, you could be promoted on the spot, blah, blah, blah. And I just looked at him and said, bro, the Canadian dollar is 69 cents US. By April, if these tariffs go into effect, the Canadian dollar will probably be sitting around 50 cents of the US dollar. And he's like, oh, it won't get that bad. It won't get that bad. It's going to get that bad. It's going to get that bad. 100% it's going to get that bad. These tariffs will do nothing but cause an economical disaster in Canada, especially with the threat of job losses due to lack of exports, which means lack of need to employ people to, say, drill for oil or to extract oil, the lack of people needed to process steel for export to the U.S., all this stuff is going to basically tank. It's going to collapse. Canada's going to go into a recession, and the Canadian government's big plan for this was they're going to offer a CERB, the Canada Emergency Revenue Benefit, or whatever the frick they called it, as a solution to the workers who are losing their jobs because EI won't cut it. And if they go on EI, it's going to really destimulate the economy up here because they'll basically, their EI will go towards lodgings and food and bills, and they'll have no extra money to spend on luxuries. Therefore, no more going to restaurants, no more going out, no more purchasing new products, no more anything. Basically, economy fumbled. They're going to come out with this plan, but they're borrowing a whole bunch of money from the Canada Bank that we don't have. The Bank of Canada, I should say, that we don't have. So what that means, they're going to print more money. What happens when you print more money and you circulate more money into the economy? your value of your dollar goes down because it's not as rare of a commodity. So it's going to tank our dollar even further. This is not good. Like, I don't understand this government's plan. It's like their whole agenda is to basically make Canada a third world country with first world amenities. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. The Conservatives have a good battle plan, but I don't understand how they're going to pull that off without doing some major restructuring to our current social services. Like, everything I hear Pierre Poilievre say, I'm like, okay, but how are you planning on doing this? Like, I understand his entire immigration deportation policy because, you know, we got a bunch of temporary students here that don't want to leave, and they're planning on filing for refugee status, and then we got lawyers that are going to fight for them to get that refugee status. And when you become a refugee in Canada, you basically get $224 a day to cover your lodgings, like lodgings and food and all that shite. I read the paperwork on it. It's valid. It's a thing, which ends up tallying up to like $82,000 a year just to be a refugee here. That's pretty insane. Like, the average income in Canada is like $60,000 a year. Yet somebody seeking asylum makes $20,000 more a year than someone who's lived here their whole life and just trying to make it. So yeah, it's kind of nuts. So Pierre wants to deport them, which is going to definitely take a strain off of our taxes, like the amount of money that comes in from taxes, so they can generate that, they can put that revenue elsewhere. Because honestly, if you came here, like when Numi came here on a temporary student visa, she did her 2 years and she left. You know, she did the process right. Came here for 2 years, and then once her visa expired and she was done her school learning, she went back to Japan. She didn't try to fight to stay here and stuff. And then now we got all these foreign students that are literally fighting to stay here after their visas expired, and they're staying here illegally, or now they're seeking refuge. And you got Canadian lawyers fighting to get them this access. Of course they're going to fight for them. They're going to make some money. It's all about money, right? So that's where Pierre wants to basically do a mass deportation, and I don't know how that's going to work out. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I don't know. The future looks pretty interesting. Am I worried about losing my job? Not really. I think AI is more of a threat to my job than what's going on in the political worlds and the financial worlds. But you never know. Anything's possible. I've been screwed over by the government like 3 freaking times so far with employment. Once at Ontario, once on contract, again as a full-time. So it's perfectly possible that it could happen again. Which is why, like, I talked about building a new computer, but then I'm like, well, no, I'm going to hold off on that. All my shit works. I can make it work for what I have. I don't need to go any further. You know, I made a few purchases that won't work with my setup, but that's all right. I don't care. Worst case scenario, I just take that 2 terabyte drive I bought and stuff it in the Acer, and then move the 1 terabyte Acer drive into my 5700 laptop, because it has PCIe 4, and then we're golden. So I'm just a little anxious to see what's going to happen. But part of this book I read called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Frig, it's not frig, it's actually the word you're not supposed to say on YouTube because you'll get in trouble. Don't fret over things you can't control. And this is something I can't control. What I can control is my own spending. And this is the reason why I am not going to New York for that training seminar, is because if it's 50 cents on the dollar, it's going to cost a lot of freaking money to go there. I'm better off just not bothering, not caring, just staying home. If this wasn't the case, yeah, I'd probably consider it. Not at those rates. That night I'd have to take a couple days off work because they all like to leave early Thursday morning to get there for Thursday night. Anyway, guys, I got to go through the roundabout and then I'm at work. So we'll carry on talking after work. But like I said, I'm a little anxious about what's to come, and I guess we'll have to wait and see what's to come. All right, guys, I'll talk to you after work. Alrighty, just leaving the makeshift. Oh man, I can't see anything out of my window. It's because my wipers are cocked. Oh, we'll get some heat on them and see if that'll clear that. Oh, I hate this weather. Hey, do you guys in Europe, where you drive on the wrong side of the road, is it the passenger side wiper that gets cocked over, or is it the wiper right in front of you? Because you guys sit on the right-hand side of the car. So, like, is it the driver's wiper that gets cocked over in the snow for you people in the Britannicals that are driving vehicles in the snow? I'm just curious because, like, what the frig, man? It's like I can clearly see out of the other side, but I can't see shit out of the driver's side. Like, it's ridiculous. You know what else is ridiculous? Friggin' roundabouts. Like, we're not in the Britannicas here. We don't need this kind. Thought for sure she was just gonna run me. Oh man, I hate those friggin' roundabouts. Anyway, another day in the book's done. I got some modern Arnis training tonight. We got our pan and toucan night. I'm just gonna pin those. Gradually they'll break free or break off, one of the two. I wish there was a button you could press that would rattle the windshield wipers. That'd be sweet right now. Instead of having to get out and like grab them and slam them into the window and potentially crack my screen. So we banged out a bunch of machines again today. So that's cool. That's all said and done. They show up at 9, we bang them out and have them back on friggin' Pure later by 3 to send them back out to the customers. So 6-hour window. We got 18 machines in today. I did 9, the other guy did 9. Problem solved. And we're far from done. Like I said, my manager was like, we may need you to the end of April, potentially longer. And I'm like, lovely, lovely. That's exactly what I want to hear. So yeah, other than that, today was pretty smooth sailing. A couple of issues here and there, like with different computers and stuff, and at the end of the day I got assigned a bunch of work to do, and I'm like, why is this coming in at the end of the day? Why did this all show up at like 2:45? I got an hour and 15 minutes left and you just pumped me with 4 tickets. I demonstrated the art of the speed run. Basically, I have 3 monitors, which means simultaneously I can work on 3 separate computers. They want you to focus on one at a time, but I like to stress myself out. So basically, I just fired up a remote connection on each one of the monitors for each one of the computers and cooked, just got to work, get after it. So luckily that was pretty, well, like I said on the previous video, right now I'm kind of like, I'm okay with what's going on because I'm super busy. Prior to this, I wasn't as busy, which is why, like, when I was working from home on Thursdays and Fridays, while I was waiting for IT stuff to happen, like, because 90% of the times, like, even with these re-images, 90% of the times you start it and then you got like a good 15-20 minutes of just sitting around twiddling your thumbs with nothing to do. And then once they're re-imaged, then you got to make sure all the software gets deployed, the policies get deployed. If not, you got to start throwing PowerShell commands at it to make it friggin' do what it's got to do. And sometimes, you're re-imaging a machine and there's actually a hardware fault and the client didn't tell you that, and you're like trying to re-image it and it's just not taking, and then you got to run a diagnostic on it and be like, oh, hard drive's cooked. Oh, isn't that cute? Okay, well, that's an RMA situation. You got to send that off to the vendor. But like when I'm working from home, usually Thursdays and Fridays are pretty dead for me anyway. So I can get away with doing some IT stuff, and then when it's super slow, bust out the green screen and shoot commenting on comments on a Thursday and have it ready to go for Sunday. But that's not going to be the case this week. This week it's going to be me shooting it on a Saturday or a Friday night after work, followed by getting it out for, I can probably give her a little bit more speed here, getting it out for Sunday. And I don't like doing that because if for some reason something gets picked up by the YouTube algorithm as like copyright related, which it shouldn't, but if it does, I have 0 time to fix it. Oh shit, are we all backed up here? Are we janked? We're janked. It's because we got freaking school buses in the way. Oh geez, my brakes weren't working. Well, they were working, I just wasn't pushing the pedal hard enough, so. Any hoozle. Yeah, it's pretty funny at work. They thought they were buying 100 boxes of Kleenex, like just individual boxes, for $1 a box. Turns out they were buying, it was a case of Kleenex, like a case with 24 individual boxes inside at $1 a box. Now, they're not high quality Kleenex by any means necessary, but it's still snot rags for desks. So they all come in and they're like, oh God, what are we gonna do with all this Kleenex? So they had to sit in the mailroom. So when I went in there to drop off the laptops, I had to go for a little trek to the mailroom there, jump from one office to the next and drop off the laptops to be shipped out. Buddy's like, I'm like, what's all these boxes? Like, these were here yesterday when I shipped out laptops. And he's like, oh, yeah, it's free Kleenex. If you need a box for your department, grab one. So I walk off with a case of Kleenex, bring it back, and the guy I'm working with was like, what the heck? We got another package delivered? I'm like, no, dude, buddy in the mailroom just told me to take a box of Kleenex. I'm like, we got a lot of Kleenex. Open it up, and it's like friggin' a whole bunch of little boxes of Kleenex in it. Yeah, they didn't read it right. It was a buck a box, not, or a buck a case, not a buck a box. Somebody thought they were buying like 100 friggin', like go to Walmart and pay $3.97 for a single box of Kleenex. No, you're getting a case with a bunch of boxes inside. So it friggin' snowed all day today, which means my efforts in snow blowing were wasted. I tell you, man, whoever said the term "do a job right, you'll never have to do it again" never had to friggin' clean a Canadian driveway. You can do that job right till you're blue in the face, and you'll always have to do it again. So yeah, tonight it feels weird, like driving home from the office, because if you think about it, since last April, I've had every Thursday, Friday off to be home. And it feels weird knowing that tonight is Panantucan, and normally I'm already home. It's currently 4:17, mind you, but I'm already home. The cat's probably confused because normally I'm only out of the house 3 days a week, home 4 days a week because the weekend. But now that's not the case. Ah well, it'll be fine. Everything will be fine. This won't last. Once we're done this project, I'll be back on my old schedule and be able to work from home Thursday and Friday again, unless there's a policy change where work from home ends and we're forced to go back to the office, which will be kind of difficult because when COVID kicked up, the company sold a bunch of their offices expecting work from home to become the new norm, and now that it isn't, they don't have anywhere to put all the new staff they hired during COVID. So for us to work from the office, there's nowhere to put everybody. So if everybody had to go back to the office, we'd be screwed. Well, not my department. My department's right now we'd be screwed. Who am I kidding? Right now we'd be screwed. Mind you, I would just go back to my position at the other office and be there. Because there I actually have my own little office room, where here I'm sitting in a cubicle working on computers all day, plus doing remote work for computer work. Oh, this side of the road is garbage. Okay, what's going on here? Buddy's snowblowing his driveway with a plow, and everybody's parked on the side of the road, making it into one lane. I'm probably watching a bunch of rubberneckers. Any hoozle, guys, we're almost home. I'll chime back in once I get there. Aight, peace. Oh, it feels so good to be home. Everything is sore, everything is sore. I have no idea what I was talking about on the drive to work because my brain got frazzled with all the work. Skeetle daddle, deedle daddle, frigga digger do. The door, get yelled at by the cat. Yeah, there she is. She's on meow face. She's all meow face. Meow. Why aren't you home already? You're supposed to be home today. Today's your work from home day. Why aren't you here? Anyway, guys, so I did call the doctor's office today for the new doctor, and looks like I got to go in for an assessment. Crap, I left something in the truck. I left the tripod for this camera in the truck. I got to go back out. Son of a bitch. I didn't take my jacket off or, anything. Leave the door open. That way there the cat will be like, "Where are you going?" And she can just stand on the door perch and look out. Just to make sure I'm not running away on her. Yeah, so March 18th is the earliest they can get me in to do like an assessment. They're like, make sure you bring all the medication that you're on and your health card and all that. And I'm like, okay. They're like, are you on medication? I'm like, no. They're like, do you have any known illnesses? I'm like, well, I'm a little cuckoo, but that's about it. And she just laughed. She's like, so you're on psychotic meds? I'm like, no, it was a joke. It was a freaking joke. I probably should be, though, but it's a joke. But yeah, like, I'm surprised this place is actually taking on new patients due to the fact that it sounds like they don't have a lot of room when the earliest they can get me in is like a month and a half from now. So, whatever, we'll figure it out. Any hoozle, guys, I have a guesstimation that if these tariffs actually go through by April, the Canadian dollar will be 50 cents on the US dollar, or 50 cents US will be able to buy a Canadian dollar. I have this feeling in my brain that this will happen. I don't know, we'll see how things play out and do what things play out. I'm not going to fret over it because, like I said, there's nothing in my human power I can do to somehow influence this to work, because I'm just a guy who works a 9 to 5. This is all in the politicians' hands. And right now, the government of Canada is in shambles as Parliament is closed while they're trying to figure out who's replacing Justin Trudeau. It would just be so much nicer if they did an early election so we could just get this ball rolling, potentially get a whole new government in there, and fix Canada and fix our relations with the US so we don't have to go into trade wars and we can just fix everything. Because honestly, these tariffs come into play, then what? We just stop trading with the US? Who's going to buy our shit? Are we going to ship it overseas to China and the UK and Somalia? Are we going to go a roundabout passage and ship it to Mexico? Mexico and Canada trade similar stuff to the US because I don't know. I guess they don't have it there and they need it. But according to what Trump said, they don't need it. He's subsidizing us. So I don't know about that because sometimes Trump spouts a lot of bullshit. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But there's nothing I can do about it. So why get all crazy about it? Meanwhile, all of this could just be settled if they'd fix the borders, because that's the only thing that Trump said he wanted was fix the borders so fentanyl quits flowing into the US. Personally, I think they should fix the borders because what has been flowing from the US into Canada? Black market handguns, and they've been used in violent crimes. This is why now in Canada, they've been banning so many firearms. Like, where you can't go to Epps gun store in Orillia and buy a pistol, even if you have your restricted PAL. You cannot go there and buy a pistol. You cannot own a handgun. You're not permitted to take it out. If you do have a handgun, you're not even allowed to take it out of the case, pretty much. It's an illegal item now. Most rifles have been banned. They've even banned some 22s like Rugers. Anything by Armalite rifles, all banned. Any calibers that are like 5.56, 223, 7.62, all those illegal. All right, illegal. Yeah, it's crazy. Like even like there's 22 long rifles, and Canada seized these guns and sent them to the Ukraine to use. Can you imagine somebody in the Ukraine war going toe-to-toe with a Russian with a 22 bunny rabbit gun? Even better, some kid's 22 bunny rabbit gun that's painted pink? That'd be freaking awesome, right? I don't know what the heck they're going to do with a 22 in the Ukraine, but maybe they can go squirrel hunting if they have squirrels in the Ukraine. Never been. I don't know. Anyway, guys, the whole reason for our gun ban is because of violent gun crimes, and they're just going to keep happening as long as we have this open border between the Canada and U.S. Our drugs from Canada can get into the U.S. and illegal guns from the U.S. can get into Canada because law-abiding citizens usually don't go around shooting people in the face. Up here, anyway. I don't know about the U.S. Never been. Don't think I'll ever go. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, like button. Questions, comments, concerns, down below the go. And until next time, guys, live it to win it. Peace the frig out. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.